charming gadgets? Here is a testimony. Read it slowly and read it carefully. I'm giving you 3 minutes for that. Look what the changes are happening. Or should I read it for you? Okay. I used to find it easy to immerse myself in a book or a lengthy article. My mind would get caught up in the twist of the narrative or the turns of the argument. I would spend hours scrolling through long stretches of prose. But what happened? That's really the case anymore. Now my concentration starts to drift after page or two. I get fidgety, halchal mach gayi. Lose the thread. Begin looking for something else to do. I feel like I'm always dragging my wayward brain back to the text. Here is the person, I'll introduce him, he's talking about his experience of 10 years back, and within 10 years, he cannot concentrate in reading books. He cannot read even 2 or 3 pages simultaneously. And who is he? Nicholas Carr. Let me introduce him. Executive editor of the HBR, Harvard Business Review. He specialized in editing and writing articles on business strategy, information technology, and the internet. And if you remember, I suppose in the last week, Pulitzer Prize was announced. And one Indian, do you remember his name, who got the Pulitzer Prize last week? Have you heard this news कि Pulitzer Prize किसी Indian को मिला है? Pulitzer Prize is a very famous prize for an American literary, journalism, fiction, non-fiction, in all this category they provided this award. And one Indian last week got this award. His name is Siddharth Mukherjee. He wrote about cancer. Okay, he is a doctor. Biology was his specialization. What that has to do with this person? Because he was nominated finalist in Pulitzer Prize. He came at the second position. And he wrote a book, Shallow. Now, if the person who is highly educated, who have got this as a nomination as a Pulitzer Prize, if he is talking about this experience, think about what the normal people might be going through. If a person who is highly intelligent, educated, he has been spending much time on reading, writing, propagating ideas, and if he has been suffering from this disease, think about the normal student who spend more time on chatting and gossiping. Similar experience are there Scott Carr, Bruce Friedman, and Philip Davis. Of course, the thread of the argument is same. Confess that he has stopped reading books altogether. I was a lit major in college and used to be a voracious book reader. The person who was to be a voracious reader has stopped reading now because he cannot concentrate. And he is again writer. Bruce Friedman, I now have almost totally lost the ability to read and absorb a longish article on the web or in print. Third, Philip Davis, I read a lot, or at least I should be reading a lot. Only I don't. I skim, I scroll. I have very little patience for long drawn out, nuanced argument. Now, of course, I am talking here about the reading, but the attention span is a thing that, of course, could be used for reading, but at the same time could be used for listening. Of course, the research has not been done for listening till now, but due to attention span, you can see that how the reading you cannot do for 15 minutes or 20 minutes continuously. And here I am talking about the person who is educated. So what is happening with the attention span? Why these writers are telling about their experience that they cannot read 3 or 4 pages continuously, why their attention span is get distorted? If you look at this chart, you'll find that attention span graph has been going down. If you look at the data, duration of 110 to 15 minutes. Earlier, around 50 years ago, you could concentrate your mind on one thing for 110 minutes. But now, due to all these gadgets that I show you in 30s and 50s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, our attention span has come down to 15 minutes. It means that if I am talking to you, I should stop my speech after 15 minutes. If I am taking class and explaining some ideas and concept, then I should stop after 15 minutes because your mind gets distracted. And that has been going down. And what BBC is predicting is something very dreadful. BBC is saying the addictive nature of web browsing can leave you within an attentive span of 9 seconds. Same as goldfish. Goldfish का इतना सा होता है. So they are saying the 9 seconds, and think about what will happen with the teachers. If the student will come into the class and they have to prepare lecture for 9 seconds, then they will move out. I think apart from good morning, good afternoon, good evening, there is nothing we could study. And who is predicting it? It's BBC. 57% of US teens have a short attention span. Problem is everywhere. If you have attention span like this, even if you cannot talk to your consumer, you will not have that much patience, what he is telling. You cannot talk to your boss. You cannot talk to your spouse. You cannot talk to your elders. Because attention span decides how tolerant you are, how patient you are to listening to the other person. We have the sites which promote this kind of a, when you have attention span like this, because they know you as a consumer. And if they know you as a consumer, they keep this data that how much time they are going to spend on their websites. Like Twitter says that you should not write more than 140 characters. There is a 12-second TV that has come up, that you should not have more than 12-second video, because people do not have ability to watch more than 12 seconds. Now, instant TV ultra short video clip, and the average length which they have measured in YouTube after collecting all the data and research, they are saying that people do not watch more than 2.7 minutes their video. Now, the video is a highly captivating form of learning. सबसे ज़्यादा attraction आपका learning में video के दौरान हो सकता है. But अगर video का span ही अगर 2.7 है, how will you listen to people? And why is it happening? Of course, the gadgets that we are surrounded with. Because the information, because the too much information we have, too many options we have, too much noise we have. Of course, I talk much about information age. I have around 3 lectures on information age. I know how useful it is going to be to live in information age. But here, today I am only specifically talking about that if you do not take care of, that it has much side effect, then you will be lost in this information. Most of the time, I daily spend on Google, on researching, on watching YouTube videos, but there is a large difference between when I dip in and when I come out from that sea. And that difference is lost when you are not trained to use those gadgets. Like mobile is, of course, it's a wonderful device. You can talk with a person anywhere you are, anytime. But if you just keep that mobile phone on your ears throughout 24 hours, then it is going to create serious problem. Point here is, the technology is useful. And if you know how to use the technology, then it's also efficient. But if you don't know how to use the technology, it is a saying that technology will start using you. If you don't know how to use the Facebook will start using you. Around 1 month ago, I went to Banaras. I met there one person who was very intelligent, educated. He has been teaching for many years, but he is addicted to Facebook. What he was telling me is that when he is not in Facebook, when he could not regularly go to the Facebook, he feels depressed. He feels out of connected. He feels that something he is missing in his life. I also use Facebook and he was also using Facebook. But he has become addictive. Now when he cannot log into the Facebook, he cannot see all the gossip and chatting that is happening around him. And he feels that he is out of connected. Now what does it mean that now Facebook is using him? He is not using the Facebook. Facebook has made a goal, human being, to bring him again and again to his side. So remember, all this technology, I also use this, other teacher also uses, every one of us use it. But if you do not use it carefully, look at the attention span which you will have.